This is John.
This is Danny.
Welcome to Do You Know?
Do you know? So what's going on?
So Britney Spears' conservatory might be ending after 14 years. Basically, her father has been in charge of her empire because she's been working in Vegas, making millions of dollars, and she hasn't been able to make any decisions on her own. And now a judge is going to rule whether it's okay for her to be done with, because she had that insane period. Remember, she was shaving her head and the whole thing.
That was when she lost her kid.
Right.
So Brittany, she started out working for Disney.
Right.
Okay, then she was a huge, 90s, 2000s, star, dated all the celebrities. Interesting about Britney Spears, I worked at a restaurant. She'd come in with her bodyguard.
Yeah.
And a bodyguard named Rob. And she would sit at the table. I worked at the restaurant, I was a bartender. I used to be at the bar. He would hang out at the bar. He'd pretty much drink Dr. Cream sodas. And then just basically kind of shoot the crap about what's going on in Hollywood with me. And it was kind of cool. And then, occasionally, he'd order food or whatever. And then Brittany would pay for it. And then tip me anywhere from $50 to $200.
Wow.
Every time. So he would just sit there, just whatever he wants, and then it's she'd stop by, just here, take, that's for whatever he had.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. So I've met her. I met her sister, and then again him, and then I've seen her with other people. But I didn't actually meet them. I saw her with Justin Timberlake before,
yeah,
and other people. But at that time, it wasn't I had a dialogue with her.
Right.
So, her dad has been running the empire based on what?
Well, it's a little. That's why they want to end the conservatorship, because it seems like the manager and the dad have a vested interest in having her be under this conservatorship because they make money running the conservatorship.
They have a salary they pull.
They get a salary they pull. So the longer the conservatorship runs, so based on what? Supposedly her being unable to make her own decisions, being able to make adult decisions.
Yeah, but she could tour the world and write music and have kids. And
yeah.
She's done a lot of things that adults do.
Yeah. So, it's it's a very interesting how people get put into facilities when money is at stake, because you just need to have the right paperwork nowadays. It's not like it was in the old days where you were a raving lunatic and you were spittle was coming out of your mouth, your eyes were crossed. Now it's you just get the right document signed and boom, you're committed.
Power of attorney.
Power of attorney.
That happens a lot to elderly people, where they have everything, and then someone comes in, a friend, family member, whatever.
Yeah.
And before you know it, they're oh, that person's crazy. That person can't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And they do whatever they have to do. They get the power of attorney, and now all of a sudden, all of their stuff is theirs. Their house and all their stuff. It's very shady. I think that's elder abuse too, at a certain point.
Yeah.
If you can get deep enough in it, but there's no moral compass when it comes sometimes to money. It's and now we're going to need a lot of it with the inflation. Did you hear about this?
No.
So, I guess Biden is trying to say, don't worry. He's trying to put in place something to slow it down, but we're rapidly starting to inflate. And we're going to see this time next year, maybe almost a double in rents and cost for goods.
Double, huh?
It seems like it's going up high. I don't know. They say if it continued at the rate, the rate we're going.
Sure.
I guess it went up. I don't have the number in front of me, but it was a substantial number that if it doubled at that number every month, right, it followed that trajectory, this time next year, we would be twice what we're paying now for everything. It would be a significant number.
Yeah.
So, is that because of all the free money that was given out?
You think so? All the stimulus money?
You can't give away trillions of dollars and then think that there's no accountability.
Right.
I mean, gas prices jumped pretty much $1 right when he got in office.
Right. Gas prices are right now a penny under the all-time high in California. It's like $4.66 for those people living outside of California. That's pretty high.
Yeah, and I mean, what is in place to stop it from just being $10? Like, I was thinking about that today. It's like, I mean, imagine you went to go get a bottle of water. And I'm not saying everyone does that, but you're going to get a case of water. Everyone feels they need water. How if cases of water were just like $20?
Yeah.
And it's not that premium stuff. It's not that Fiji.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're paying $10 for Kroger.
For Kroger.
Kroger, just tap water with a little mint spit in it or whatever they do to freshen it up. Mint squirt.
Right.
I mean, what are we going to do when that happens? I mean, we have so many homeless right now. Imagine if the rate doubled, where the rents are, I mean, they're already, I think, all-time highs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just wild to think about.
It couldn't double, though, because people, that would create more homeless. I mean, right now, the mayor of Los Angeles is running on a platform that says homelessness is our number one priority. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? That's their number one priority. There's the economy, there's COVID, you know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of different things going on, but they're saying homelessness. So if they doubled rents, people would be out. Or the other option is people just wouldn't pay and they'd become squatters. So squatters would become the number one priority because people would just say, I'm not leaving. And landlords would basically lose all of the income that they were getting from the rental property.
I mean, I've been reading a lot of stories about squatters actually recently. And one thing that keeps coming up is how squatters move into an elderly person's house and that person passes away and they don't report it. So they either dismember the body or they bury it and then they continue to live in that home as if that person is on a trip, that person's at the store, they'll be back later, they're sleeping, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're able to run it for however many months to years before finally there could be an investigation or a family member or whatnot. But typically, the police don't really investigate that unless there's enough missing person reports. So imagine, I mean, a lot of people, when they get older, they don't have a huge network around them. Right? And then you have people who can come in, take advantage, and then basically pretend that you're still alive.
Yeah. That would be... Well, you know, that would be... If my death could benefit someone and give them a place to live, hey, man, you know what? I went out like a hero. That's how I look at it.
But you also then you hurt the other side of the family.
I see.
See, like your kids.
Because they wouldn't be able to sell the property and get the benefits.
Or anything. Celebrate your life. They wouldn't even know you're gone.
I see. Oh, right. I see.
No one would know.
So no one knows because they're like, you're at the store. Okay, I missed.
Right.
Now I'm connecting the dots.
You're basically...
Okay. So they're saying he's at the store, he's in the bathroom, he's alive.
Right.
I see. Well, you know what? Still, though, eventually they're going to find out. I mean, it can't go on forever. So what if I'm found 7 years later? You know what? My dead
dismembered,
body...
buried in the backyard.
Right. Right.
I just read about this. Literally, they dismembered and buried him in the backyard.
Right.
And they're living there, and their defense is, well, we didn't have anywhere to go.
Hey, man.
We didn't kill them. That was the other thing. We didn't kill them. They died naturally.
Right.
We just give them a proper burial.
Is that illegal? Can you be arrested for dismembering a dead body? Like, I think that's...
Absolutely.
That's illegal, right?
It's illegal.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, that's illegal. Especially something that you're not related to.
Right.
Like, I don't know how it would work if, like, let's say you were married for, whatever, 90 years.
Yeah.
Your spouse passed away. You gave your spouse a burial in the backyard. I don't know if that would be illegal. I mean, you'd have to report it, but you would say after they do whatever, look into the body, they say, oh, it's natural. And they ask, well, what are we going to do with the body? And you say, oh, I want to have a burial in the backyard.
Right.
I don't know if that's illegal. I don't think that's illegal.
Maybe because of like rats and fleas or what, I don't know like what bugs come around dead bodies, but it's probably illegal because of the biohazard, not because it's like unethical to bury in the backyard, because people used to bury people in the backyard all the time. They put like that little cross or a little Jewish star.
You see it on the hill when you go for a drive. You see all these little crosses. I assume there's people buried there. I mean, what else would there be? Or sometimes you see that white bike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, they probably got hit by a bike. They probably buried him there.
Right. Or the candles on the corner, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like, with like Jesus on them.
Right.
I remember, there was a time I was down near Vermont and 50th a lot.
Yeah.
In that area, every day there'd be a vigil. The next day, you'd come out, candles. Every day, like everything would close at like 8 p.m., like literally like close, like where they put the iron gates down and everything.
Yeah.
Then there'd be just like gunfire, like it was just nuts. This is by near USC.
Yeah.
And then the next day you'd get up and you go. I had a girlfriend. We'd go get pupuserias, right? That was the big thing in that area.
Salvadorian food. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you would have just vigils, just candles and people crying and stuff. And I was like, man, this is like such a tough area.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, you want to talk about stray dogs, like stray animals just running around?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Latin America. That's how it is. Like in Mexico, that's how it is. I lived in Mexico for a while.
I remember once driving into Mexico and seeing a stray dog at the Alto stop sign.
Yeah.
It was Alto on it.
Right.
Yeah. That was interesting. I thought it was a good idea to drive in.
I know. We made a similar judgment call, Elena and I, when we had a rental car, and we didn't know that you had to have different insurance in Mexico. So luckily, nothing happened. So
right.
there's no payoff to the story, other than things could have gone a lot different.
Yeah. No, me too. I mean, I had no idea. I just was like, they made it so easy to drive in.
Right.
But
they're like, welcome.
Out, the driving out part.
Right.
A little more complicated.
Yeah.
A little more complicated.
Yeah.
I think I was like 17, and I had a driver's license and stuff, but for some reason, there was like a case of beer in my trunk. Okay, and it wasn't mine or my friends, and it was so hard trying to explain
how a phantom case of beer got in your
how
trunk.
it's not our beer.
It's not mine.
It's not our beer.
Sure, that's what they all say.
And I was trying to explain. It's my mom's car also, and it maybe is her beers.
Right.
Eventually, they allowed, because the registration had her name on it.
Yeah.
They gave me the benefit of the doubt at the end.
Oh, that's cool.
And they wanted to almost keep my friend. I had a friend in the car who didn't have a driver's license.
Yeah.
He had like a passport. The passport was expired, and the picture of him was as a child. And they were like, that's not you. And he's like, no, this is me.
Right.
They're like, no, that's not you. Just give us his documents.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have any documents. Like, I just came with these guys. They're like, you're going to have a problem. You're not going to let you go out of the country.
Yeah.
You cannot go. They thought he's like an illegal trying to escape.
Trying to cross. Yeah.
Trying to cross, whatever. Escape Alcatraz. Yeah, anyway, it was fun. But yeah, after that experience, I was like, I'm never going to drive into Mexico again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever do that again.
No, that's a mistake we won't make again. I mean, like I said, nothing happened, but it just, the way people drove was also like not very friendly. Like
There's no lights. There was no
Right.
lights. And it's like an intersection will have like 9 different ways that the lanes are going.
Yeah, it's very hectic.
I remember trying to do a U-turn and it's all gravel and it was drizzling. and my car literally did like a 360 spin. Like, it was like a movie, and everyone's like, oh, like screaming, and we're like, oh.
Right.
And then, anyway, no one hit us. But I was like, man, a lot of unnecessary risk to get this, this orange juice, like 7 a.m. 200 pesos for like breakfast.
Right.
It's like nothing.
I know.
Like $2. You know, like eggs and orange juice. That was like the highlight of the trip there to Tijuana.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything else fun. By the time we got there, we drove through the middle of the night. I mean, by the time we actually got there, it was like early morning. And there was like nothing to do. Like papas and beers, like everything was closed. And what's funny is everything you would have to be 18. I'm 17. So it's like I was off a year.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought, could go at 17, that it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
It was a problem. And everything was closed. So.
Double strike.
Yeah. It's like, it reminds me when I was in high school, we took a trip to Vegas once. And we were like 19, or not even, we were like 18. Same thing. Go to Vegas, what are you going to do? You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
It's like, go to Denny's.
Go to Circus.
We walked around.
The acrobats.
Yeah, we like basically walked around. You know, I think I had a buddy who was under 21 who was allowed to change $20 and played a few hands. Got away with it, you know. But it was like, we were like, dude, if you really win,
they're gonna card you.
You're not getting anything.
Yeah, and you're dead.
You basically just donated $20. Because if you win, even in our mind, it was like, even if you win 100, they're gonna figure you out.
Yeah.
Like, best case scenario, you get your 20 back.
Yeah.
You know, and you're the winner. You're even.
Right.
Yeah. Any other good trips when you were a teenager?
You know what? I remember going up north to Union City and crawfishing. Like, that was like a highlight of my existence, you know, because I made a lot of trips. Like, I went to Mexico and went to Spain, and, you know, we did trips to, like, New York and stuff, but in Vegas. But, I mean, Union City, when I was a teenager, was like the center of my world, man, because it was my cousins, and it was my uncle and aunt,
mm-hmm.
and there was just something about getting up at 4 a.m., and getting these like bear claws that you would eat, and then you would pick blackberries, and you would like put these baskets in the water to pull the crawfish out, and it was like all this manual labor, mm-hmm. and then at the end you would cover the table in heaps of crawfish after boiling them. And it was like you ate so it was like farming for a day and being able to eat your harvest.
Oh, wow.
So it was such a like rewarding experience, and I never really had luck with fishing. Mm. So this was like the equivalent of fishing, because you could definitely catch them. Like they were stupid. They just went to the meat and you just pull them up.
Ah.
Fish are a lot more smart, and I can't really catch them on a hook. You know.
I think you need a baseball bat. You just
right.
hit it in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
In shallow water.
So yeah, I'd say Union City when I was a
cool
kid.
Name, Union City. You know, when I hear Union, I always think of train, like a trains.
Right.
Yeah, so Union City, it's like it must be full of trains.
I don't know why it's called that, but there's no trains. No.
Maybe it's just unions.
Yeah, maybe they're just like united.
Right. It's like the truckers. And
right.
Yeah, unions, they're dying out.
Yeah, well, actually, so I'm a security guard now, and I got in the mail the fact that I'm now a part of a union. And I got a little card that says, read this if you get interviewed by your company for any disciplinary actions. And it says, like, you know, I don't want to speak unless I have my attorney present, etc. So I've never been part of a union before.
Oh, wow.
This is actually pretty cool. So it's like firefighters and security personnel. It's a union of all those people in California. And apparently they look after our best interests and make sure we're paid well and make sure we're not terminated for any undue course.
Oh, cool. And how much do they want you to pay them every year?
I think it was taken care of by the first job that I had, because they basically signed me up for like all these things like CPR class and the union and all these things. They just took care of it.
Oh, cool. They paid all your dues.
Yeah, they paid all my dues. So I'm really glad that I went through the first business.
Yeah.
You know?
That's great.
And now I'm in the second one, which is a little more unprofessional. Like everything's written in paper and pen. Like they want you to fax in your timesheet. It's not electronic. When I was filling out my employment forms, it wasn't online. It was like handwritten, and then I had to take pictures of it and text it in. So it's very old school the way that they do things. But I think the person is okay. Like my supervisor seems like an okay guy, so I don't mind the company being a little behind as long as I'm paid, and they don't have direct deposit. So I'm gonna have a check mailed to me by FedEx on a weekend.
Oh, okay.
To have it. So it's interesting
We're
to
giving
have
you some errands.
Yeah, so it's interesting to have a breath of fresh air of going back in time a little bit. I'll be able to show the kids like what a paycheck looks like.
Yeah, as you take a picture of it and upload it into your bank account.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder where is a fax machine though.
I don't know like what they expect. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who has a fax machine anymore. But basically, you can also email. So you just take a picture, attach it to the email, and then you're good to go.
That would make more sense. An email.
Yeah.
Fax machine. I mean, yeah, you'd be waiting for for the thing to beep, and I don't even remember how you do it. I think it's face down, and I don't know. Remember fax machines that used toners and papers. I mean, yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah, I think I think your phone might even have an app that does faxing. I think because the picture that you take is digital information, so there should be an app that converts it into a fax that you can dial by phone. There should be something like that instead of having to purchase like a literal machine that sits and collects dust because you fax like once a month. Something
right. You need to get you would need a number for it.
Right.
Fax number, I think.
Right.
But they would need to have a fax. I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that have to go right for you to get paid.
Right. So, anyways, I think like the fact that I'm part of a union made me feel a little cool, man. It made me feel like, wow, I'm part of a union. Like, awesome.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of the staple of the American, labor force.
Right.
And the unions came in to protect workers, from the factories and from all basically because you had so many immigrants, in our country.
Yeah.
The unions came in as kind of like a way to protect them, and then it was like, some of the unions started being paid off, and so certain people, would go to the other side, to the dark side.
Yeah.
For payments, but in Vegas, it's all the casinos are pretty much unionized at this point.
Yeah.
But I always felt like our unions weren't very strong in Vegas. So even though they had big titles, they were like, "Oh, this is you're part of the TWA trucker union now." It was like big titles, but I felt like when it came down to things like wages, they were stealing tips, there was like sexual harassment, like all these different things were happening.
Yeah.
Union was kind of like, well, you got to get a lawyer. You got to do this. It was like they weren't really stepping in at that time that I saw. I mean, eventually things were settled, which is good. I mean, I don't think, they were necessarily settled for the right amount of money, but things were settled and there was a lot of apologies and stuff that went wrong that now I think they're starting to go in the right direction.
Right.
With having that, transparency of what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting times. So is this considered Santa Ana right now?
You mean the winds? Yeah. These are the Santa Ana winds. I'm sneezing a lot. It's warm. It's heavy winds at night. So these are called the Santa Ana winds.
They are, yeah. This is this is probably like the worst weather in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's like hot, and I guess maybe that's why they're out cutting the trees, because it's higher fire risk.
Yeah.
You have the warm air blowing, and if something happens, all this shrubbery.
Yeah, it goes up.
Catch up.
Yeah.
Today they were basically cutting trees. From like early in the morning, just chainsaws, and I mean and with the combination of the hot winds and
yeah,
so been a rough day, to say the least. That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else? Oh, do we have the book of questions?
Yeah, so we found the book of questions. So we're going to retire the book of schmooze for now. And we're going to go ahead and do something. So here we go. All right. What is your most treasured memory?
My most treasured memory is when my family and I went to Disneyland, and we ended up doing like a photo shoot kind of thing at Disneyland, and we were on what looked like the Disneyland Express, and we all had like kind of like clothing that reminded me of like the 30s kind of,
Yeah.
like scarves and stuff like that, and poses. And that was actually a surprise on that trip also, where my mom for the first time had said as a surprise she's going to give us all Disneyland passes.
Ah.
And I still remember that because that was something that was like mind-blowing at that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How about you?
It would have to be the first time I saw Elena. Because she didn't see me. I saw her in the hallway. Mm-hmm. And I heard a voice in my head say, "You will know her for the rest of your life." So I didn't see her for another year after that. But I remember so clearly, like, where she was, the hallway, the way it looked, the voice, just it being, like, out of the blue, you know, and just... I remember just telling that story... you know, in terms of like me meeting her like a year later and going like, oh wow, like this is it, this is the girl, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We have an email for our listeners, but I'm not sure if they're getting it clearly. So it's
let's go slow.
Okay, so it's Do You Know with Jon and Dan.
And that's and with AND.
At gmail.com.
Yeah.
Now, we do have the comment section on our Facebooks. So if you want to answer any of these questions, feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free. And I think in the next week or so, we should have the Twitter and different stuff at some point in the near future. Do we want to ask something for the listeners?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Here we go. On a busy street, you are approached apologetically by a well-dressed stranger who asks for $1 to catch a bus and make a phone call. He says he has lost his wallet. What would you do? If approached in the same way by a haggard-looking stranger claiming to be hungry and unable to find a job, what would you do?
That's a good one. I mean, we got to put it into relative context, right?
Right.
No one's making a phone call.
Right, yeah, this is an older book.
Right, and no one's getting a meal for $1 now. It's more like a $10 meal now.
Right.
But
people still ask for a quarter, though. They'll still ask you for like $1.25. Like inflation hasn't hit the homeless. They're not asking for $5.
Will they ask for anything?
Right.
Any amount?
No, but they'll say like, "Hey, do you have $1?" Or like, "Hey, do you have a quarter?" Like when I pass by, that's what I get asked.
Really?
Yeah. So like
I always
inflation
have
hasn't
spare
come up.
change.
Oh, okay.
Do you have spare change?
Oh, okay.
But I think, yeah, but I know what you're saying. I understand. Yeah, the inflation market maybe hasn't hit them.
Because it's kind of hard to like ask for what a meal costs now, which is $5. Like, hey, do you have $5 for a meal?
Right, or maybe you're gluten free.
I guess we should ask that. So I guess suppose a well-dressed stranger asks for $5.
You tell them to beat it.
Right.
Because they're well dressed.
Right. And if someone was haggard looking, some people are going to be turned off
You would
because
say, I don't carry cash.
Right.
I mean, we've created a world where it's hard to help people unless they have a Zelle.
One time a guy said, I take ATM cards. Yeah. Can you believe it?
And you ask him, how do you pay the processing fee?
He had a satellite ATM on him. This was in Venice, by the way. This was the guy who he roller skates and plays the guitar.
You're talking about with the hair. And
he plays the guitar. And I was like, I don't have any money. And he's like, that's okay. I take ATM.
I think he passed away not too long ago.
Oh, wow.
I think he did.
That's too bad.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, he was like a staple of Venice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he would take tips for playing guitar.
Right.
Right. So he was probably one of the first that could take credit card payments.
Yeah, it was like a satellite thing. And he just had it around his like shoulder.
Would that be a service that people would buy? Like, let's say we created an app that allowed you to accept payments from people. So, like, it wasn't just like a PayPal or Zelle, but like literally they could just touch their phone to it or whatever and put $1 or $5 and it would just go right in your account. Like, it'd be a cash situation. It'd be like Cash App,
Yeah.
but without all the details. It'd be just Cash App, but it goes right to whatever number you want to put on there.
Well, see, the problem with that is that if it's too easy to transfer money, then terrorism becomes easy. Because then it's easy to filter money, and you want. That's why the government's trying to monitor, exchanges of $100 or more with the IRS and stuff.
Yeah, government's always on our side.
Right. So, I think that if you had a system where you could just transfer money and you could touch it, Al-Qaeda would be all over that,
I mean, I can't believe we still have terrorists in today's world.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think by now they'd all be gone.
No.
I mean,
it's the cheapest way of getting your point across. It's terror. So relatively few people can paralyze the entire world with terror. And, it's not a lasting situation because people will eventually overcome and get their bravery back. But for a short period of time, they think they've won because they have. And, if you look at our airports, the terrorists, in effect, won that round. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because it's hard to... Well, and then what's happening on the next round now, all the people are getting beat up. I mean, why is it every day there's another video of someone kicking a flight attendant's butt, breaking their nose? And
right.
I think their union is pushing for a no-fly list that's shared among carriers. So, like, if you punch someone on United, you can't fly on American. Because right now, each airline has their own no-fly list.
Oh, I see.
So if you beat someone up on Spirit, you can get on Delta the next day.
Yeah.
No problem. But their union is pushing to make it where all of them share
the no-fly list.
Yeah. So that if someone acts up, everybody knows about it. There's no more secrecy.
Yeah.
But, I wonder where it would go from there.
Yeah.
Too much power.
Right.
They say that all animals are created equal, just some animals are more equal than others.
What does that mean?
So it's an interesting phrase. I was watching this TED Talk, and I think his last name is Smith, and he was basically comparing culture and just the different countries and how we each deal with business and relaying information. And the idea is that, like, everyone's equal. Like, we're all the same, but we're not really. So I think what he was trying to say is that even though in the world today it's supposed to be based on equality, it's just some ways of doing business are more accepted than others. And he was talking about, like, the disparity between, like, the Dutch and, like, the Chinese. So, for example, when trying to work with a business internationally, there's different triangles, basically, of management. So in the countries that are not as diverse, they'll have more of a flat triangle that might have just one or two levels of management. But in the bigger countries like United States or England and whatnot, they'll have like 10 rows of a diamond, or a triangle rather.
Yeah.
So what happens is they try to do business, and because they have less rows that they can go to for their information, the lower levels just kind of tell them, well, what they know, because there's not all this upper bureaucracy.
Right.
And then on the other end, they think they're just lying. Because they're like, how would you have that information so quickly? Like, don't you have to go through your superiors?
I see.
So, it just made me think of that.
Yeah.
But equality, I mean, it's, I don't know where we're going to go with it. I mean, we just ended a pandemic.
Yeah.
Right before that, we had the Black Lives Matter riot.
Right.
What do you think is the next? Like, we just talked about terrorism.
We had Me Too.
Me Too, before that.
Right.
So what, if we had to speculate on what the next big controversy is going to be, is it going to be inflation? It's going to be a money thing?
It has to be a nationality thing. So, right, I know that Asians are getting a lot of, so I know there's a big push to stop Asian hate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it has to be another nationality because we've already done the gender thing and there's only two genders. There's male and female. So we've already covered all of the permutations of that. Mm-hmm. We've covered blacks, we've covered whites, we've covered women, we haven't covered men in the sense of men having
Oh, maybe they're going to go after the older white men.
Older white men, maybe.
Maybe that's the next big attack. You know, it's funny you brought up the stop the violence against Asian. And another thing that I had read actually, you know, culturally, like if you're an immigrant from like Korea and you try to make like, let's say a liquor store in like Inglewood, okay? The culture in Korea is so different compared to the culture in Inglewood that the Korean shop owners feel basically offended by the community. And the community is just doing what you do in that community. That's just how that community is.
Right.
So we're not saying Inglewood's a bad community. I'm saying Inglewood is Inglewood, okay? And Inglewood has great people, okay? But from a Korean immigrant standpoint, Inglewood is aggressive and antagonistic because in their culture, they're not talked to the same way. On the defense of the people from Inglewood, they're used to getting service from their establishments.
Right.
They're used to getting greetings. Hi, how are you today? Thank you for coming in.
Right.
In the Korean culture, that isn't typical to give, hello, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in.
Right.
That's not a part of their culture. So on both sides, they feel the other party's being rude.
Yeah.
Because of their mannerisms. And that's why there's so much problems between Korean shop owners and patrons in that community.
I see. Cultural antagonism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have it, I mean, so much of it around us. You know, and that's why when we talk about the homeless and we go back to the book of questions, what would you do if someone approached you? It would depend where you were.
And what time it is. You know what I mean? If it's at midnight, is it like 6 a.m.? You know what I mean? Like,
for example, you were in the Topanga Mall.
Right.
Okay? Someone, a lady in her late 20s, early 30s. I forgot my purse. I locked my keys in the car. You think I could get a few dollars? Can I use your cell phone? You know, whatever it is. Probably help her out, right? You're in the mall, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? Same situation, okay, but instead of being in the mall, you're just going to cross the street. So you're at the outside the mall, and it's evening. Across the street's like Costco and, you know, that thing.
Yeah.
It's like 10 o'clock, and like a homeless person comes up to you.
Right.
Hey, I need some money, this and that. You're going to be kind of quicker to just get on with your way, you know, because you don't want to get into some kind of drama. I mean...
So let me tell you this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a guard, and I let people in, and I have the discretion to write down their license plate or not. To basically say, like, you can pass, you know, you're good to go, etc. If the car is dirty and they're dressed a certain way, I have an instinct to stop them. I really do.
Hmm.
It's really interesting that I don't treat everyone the same. If you're rich looking and you look like you belong, even though you're technically supposed to be written up the same way as everyone else, I'm like, you're not a problem. Anyone can be a terrorist. As a matter of fact, they're more likely to be the terrorist than the person who's dressed like a bum. But I find that my instinct kicks in, and I find myself writing down people who have like dirty cars and they have like trash everywhere. And so it is interesting how if you change the scenario and you're inside a mall and it's a young woman and she's like, oh, hey, can we please? Versus you're outside and what I'm saying? It changes it. So the question, I guess, is that right or wrong?
Well, it's profiling. So profiling through history has been correct, even though it's sometimes unethical. But what I mean is, even though it's unethical, we culturally are based on stereotypes. So like if you ask somebody in another part of the world, you ask someone in England or whatnot, France, whatever, what do they think of Americans? They're going to say big, they're going to say hamburger, right?
Right.
I'm saying it's a stereotype. So that's what we're doing is cross-culturally, we stereotype, okay, if you can't take care of your car, you have trash everywhere, you're probably going to do that to the neighborhood here. Right? So you're automatically deferring what you see as into this is who you are. This is how you're representing yourself today. I have to take you at face value. I'm in charge of this neighborhood. You're coming in and you don't look like the normal people who come in here.
Right.
So you have to do that. That's even though it might be unethical. For example, if not only did you have the power to write down the license plate, but how about say you can't come in here until you wash your car and put gas in it.
Right.
If you could do that, then you'd be, basically on the cusp of being like a tyrant. Because then the people who are like, I'm coming in here.
Right.
And you're not going to stop me.
Right.
Right. And now you got like all this, they're coming back with their posse.
Right. Exactly.
You don't want to let us in? Oh, we're going to come in and burn it down.
Right.
I don't know why I use that accent. I don't know. Don't judge me. All right.
All right.
Well, this is Danny.
This is John.
And we'll see you next time.
All right. Peace.